Mystery Quilt 5, clue number 4. So we've gotten all of our square pieces put together with the sides and the extra 4 patch. We have cut out our triangles. Now it's time to put this together. So if we follow along with the diagram that the Quilt-Along site on Facebook provided, we're just going to follow it along. So we're going to take one of our large triangles, one of our squares, and one of our large triangles and put together. So we've got a large triangle, that goes together real nice. So let's just pin that down. And she even says in her instructions that her triangles were a little bit too big. But you know what? Better to be too big than too small. Again, as I've told y'all before, I am a pinner. And I'm probably going to go this way. Starting here. It's really exciting as you're working through a mystery quilt and suddenly all the little pieces that you were working with are starting to take shape. Okay, so that's going to be our one. Let's go ahead and take the other one. Making sure we put the right side. There we go. And just kind of match that up. Pin that. All right. So let's take that to our sewing machine. Let's sew that down. So I've sewn down a triangle on each side. And now I need to take one of the small triangles and we're going to attach it to the top, just like it shows in the diagram. And it's alright if we've got some of this sticking up, because that will all get trimmed off. We want to make sure this is nice and straight. Remember, 1/4 inch seam. And I personally find it's alright if I make a mistake as long as I learn from it. I like to tell my kids I never make the same mistake twice. I always move on to bigger and better ones. Let's hope this isn't the case today. So we're going to sew that down and then we'll press it out. And then we will have that portion, this first portion of it done. And then it's just a matter of sewing things together. We'll put 3 of our blocks together with a triangle on each side, and then 5, and then 5, 3, and 1. That's all we have to do. Then we'll move on to step 5, clue number 5, and that will walk us through how to make a border. Another reason why I like the mystery quilts is it shows you how easy it can be. Very daunting and almost fearful to think of you making a quilt. But she really, by taking it into steps,
She's engaged. Make everything about that. What kind of dress is she going to wear? Floggings. What's the cake going to look like?
it shows how
Who's going to be there?
little steps, little bites are nice,
Shove it in their face.
and by doing little bites, you can create a large project. 1,000-mile journey starts with a single step. Well, a quilt starts with a single stitch. So, let's start putting these together, and let's see what we come up with. And we're off again. So we've got our first piece for the first corner with the one block, 2 large triangles on the side, and a small triangle on the top. I've got my 3 blocks with 2 large triangles on each side, and then I'm just going to kind of match up my tops. And no, my squares are not going to match up, but that's all right. It's not supposed to. But ideally, when you get to the end, your sides will match up. And then that's all you're doing. You're just working on each row at a time and then putting them together. And then before you know it, you'll have all your blocks sewn together and ready for the border. So let's finish this up. Press on all of our pieces. So I've been sewing together my triangles and my blocks, and I just want to point out that this is a tricky one. So you need to make sure that you're following the directions on this. Because now before we put our small triangle at the top with our other 4 patch, for the bottom right hand corner, we need to put our triangle here at the bottom. And this is a different kind of design because normally, the few that I've done, it's a basic square that goes across and then down. And this one, we're kind of going at an angle to make the square, and we need triangles to square things up. So make sure you are following along, and before you sew anything down, double check on the diagram. And if you make a mistake, don't be afraid to use your stitch pick. Pick it out, try it again. I have found that's the best way for me to learn. So we're going to finish this up, put all of our rows together. Clue 5, which should tell us about how to do the border, and then this will be done. And like I said, I love how we've got little bites, and then before you know it, you've got this beautiful quilt. Can you imagine these done in batiks or in, you know, some other colors? The sky's the limit for you on this. Be brave. Try on a couple of the Quilt-Alongs. There's plenty of them online. There's plenty of them on Facebook. Pick one, try it out. But for now, I got to get back to sewing these pieces together so we can work on our border.